Evening, everybody. How we doing? Happy Monday. Hope we're all doing well. We're going to chat about the Crystal Palace game from yesterday and then cover a couple other points. I just want to introduce you to my guests. Apparently, we've got half of the Beatles here. So, Paul, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, all good, all good.
So we'll just have to let that be. So, fine.
He's on a roll.
Yeah. No, that was yesterday.
Somebody stop him.
Talking about that in an octopus's garden. Andrew, how are you?
Just call me Ringo. Yeah, hi. I'm all good. Everything's beautiful in the garden of the octopus. Yes.
When you said Ringo, I was more thinking of Thomas the Tank Engine and the Beatles. So.
Oh, that's harsh.
Then also making her debut, Laura. How are you doing?
Debut it is then, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm good, thank you.
Cool. We'll get into some of the stuff that you do later as well, if that's all right. Cool. Thank you to everyone who's watching so far. We'll get underway with starting about yesterday's action. Start with you, Paul. Obviously, we was at the game. I feel like everyone was more before the game, wasn't it? That just need to get the job done. Not like certain other London teams that can't do that. I didn't mean Spurs, by the way. I meant relevant London clubs.
Ouch.
So, yeah, Paul, what was your thoughts going into the game? I think we just needed to get the job done, and we more than done that, didn't we?
Yeah, I mean, it was Crystal Palace. It was a nice sunny day. It was a great atmosphere. Yeah, we just needed to get the 3 points, get a few goals in. It could have been a lot nervier if it been 1-0 for much longer than it was. But yeah, going into the game, we just needed to come away with that result, go into the international break on the back of 3 fantastic results back to back.
Yeah, I think there was a Chloe Kelly song on yesterday, wasn't there, Paul?
Yeah, there was. Yeah, a new one.
Slightly. Laura, I'll come to you. Obviously, we saw the lineup. There wasn't as many changes as I thought. Was you expecting that sort of lineup, or was you expecting more rotation?
I was surprised a bit. I mean, I think especially in midfield, I would have expected Kyra to start because she has not been starting as often, I think, as in the beginning of the year. So I was expecting her, especially since it was against Crystal Palace. But yeah, it did work out in the end the way she did line them up. So not too much to complain about. But it was good to see Jenna Nice-Swanger get a start. So yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I did see, obviously, we have a social media where we see everyone put their really rational points of views on X. And I did see someone say, Renee is ridiculous. How can Kyra be getting less minutes than Vicky Pelova? I thought, oh, here we go. I thought, comparing the two is a bit ridiculous. But Andrew, like Laura said, it was really good to see Jenna obviously get the start. Obviously, McCabe was suspended, so she was able to take that opportunity. What was your thoughts going into the game? Was you hoping that she would get a good chunk of minutes as well?
Jenny, yeah, I guess we could only assume that was going to be the case. And I thought, I agree with you, Laura. I thought she was terrific. Really impressed. I was saying beforehand, yes, it was only Crystal Palace, but I thought we saw her pace, we saw her, as a overlapping fullback. I thought she did well. So yeah, I was delighted to see, because that was our first real, good long look at her, and yeah, she didn't disappoint. I thought she was terrific, and particularly. It was, it was interesting to see the interaction with her and Chloe cutting inside, almost playing like a 10 a lot of the time, and Jenna overlapping. So that was an interesting kind of wrinkle that Renee put in. But yeah, so happy to see Jenna. She must be she must have enjoyed that, getting, like you say, that full game to herself, and just to showcase what she's got.
Yeah. Talking about Jenna, Paul. Obviously, we've seen her start now. We know that McCabe. Let's not get it twisted. McCabe's the first starting left back. Whether we agree with that or not agree with that, that is kind of the case. But do you think with some of the rest of the season that we've got planned in WSL, so like we've got Leicester, haven't we, and Villa, could you see Jenna featuring more in them sort of games?
I'd like to see her play in probably the Leicester and the Villa game. Obviously, Katie is the number one left back at the moment, so she's going to get the nod against Leon in both legs, I think, for that, unless she picks up a silly red card, which is quite possible, or a little injury or something. But yeah, I'd like to see that left back position get a bit of rotation over the next sort of month or so of games, because then it just gives us options going into the end of the season. Obviously, Jenna only signed for us in January, so get a pre-season under her belt, and then literally fight McCabe for that position next season.
Yeah, Laura. Obviously, going back to Jenna, do you seriously think that she could really push Katie McCabe going forward for that starting left back role, or do you see Jenna more as a squad player, like just to rotate with McCabe?
Good question.
Thanks.
I think what you have to understand about Jenna is that she is not a natural left back. So she started her career off as a left winger, but she can basically play anything down the left side. So I wouldn't even see her as competition for Katie McCabe. I would see her being useful on the left side wherever she needs to be. So no, I don't think she will be coming in first before Katie McCabe, but I also can see her starting more games with the growth. Like if she really grows into the team, I can see her start more on the left side.
Yes, that's a really good point. I think a lot of us and some of the fan base do forget that she has played in more than one position, and that like naturally she's not a left back, so that is quite a good. It's nice to actually have another utility player, really. Paul, we'll move. No, not Paul. You're Ringo. We'll move on. I'm just going to call you Ringo for now. Well, obviously we've got the performance in the first half. I think we've done what we had to do. I think players like you said, Beth and Chloe kind of played really well together, didn't they? What was your views on like Beth Mead throughout that game? I thought she played quite well. I don't think she got the plaudits she deserved. I think Chloe Kelly got a lot more of them. But yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I suppose they had similar games. It was just that kind of Chloe's had the assists, and Beth had the she assisted herself with that cross shot, didn't she? Really, but and that terrific. I mean, her goal, that volley was terrific as well. But I think that's the best I've seen of Beth for a long time. And she got the start, and she was assertive again, cutting inside. It was almost like we had 3-10s at some point. She was so sort of putting balls into the box, dribbling into the box. So it was close between her and Chloe as to who was going to get that, but I guess the goals always kind of make it look better. But really interesting just to see that's the Beth back to her best. It's a tricky one to say, but I got that one then. So, it's great because that's what we need. Again, we're looking now that gives Renee more options with Mariona. Get to Mariona to play everywhere. I think Mariona's going to be right back next week. Let's see, why not? It's just really good to see that we've got kind of all three of our kind of wide outs, firing on all cylinders at the moment, and that gives us options. So it was really a little surprising, but really good to see Beth back to her best.
Yeah, it's a really thank you for all the comments in the chat so far. Just talking about the game, I'm not repeating the Chloe Kelly lyrics. I heard them enough yesterday and weren't impressed. So, but we're moving on. It is a really good point, Paul. If Chloe Kelly signs on a permanent, does that mean that Beth could see the exit door? In my opinion, I think yes and no. And I just do it to confuse everyone. But what I mean is, the reason I say yes, because I just wonder if they sign Chloe Kelly, I think someone, either Beth Mead or Caitlin Ford, will leave. But the reason I say no is because the way Beth's playing at the moment, I would not be dead against Arsenal saying there's another year extension like that. And I know people say, but that kicks the issue down the line. It doesn't. It just adds to the strength and depth. If Chloe Kelly's going to bring the best out in Beth Mead and Beth Mead's going to bring the best out in Chloe, surely going forward, that's what Arsenal want, isn't it, Paul?
Yeah, I mean, we can't just say, right, there's 11 places on that field each week, we're going to have 11 players. You've got to have those other ones on the bench that are able to come on, and they've got to be top class, and they've got to be able to step up and step in if you have an injury or you get the run of games, like he's coming up the back-to-back Leons with WSL games in between. So when you've got the likes of Beth, Chloe, Caitlin, Mariona all play out on the wing, and don't forget we've also got Viv Leah, who's out on loan at the moment, coming back as well. Then we're going to have loads of options, but longer term, one of them might decide at the end of next season, if we did sign Chloe Kelly permanently, actually I'm not getting enough game time here. Do you know what? I feel like I should move on. I can't see it happening this transfer window, but possibly a year later it could, if one of them is sort of being nudged out and not getting the starts.
Yeah, and I think, Laura, obviously carrying on the Beth Mead chat, if we're being honest, if Beth did leave, I don't know if you agree, but I don't know if she wouldn't start for one of the top 3 WSL teams, would she?
I'm not sure. I wish to not comment on that one. I'm not sure she would move within one of the top 3 current WSL team. I don't think she'll move to. Yeah, I don't think she'll move to either of them. But that's all I have to say on that.
Yeah, I do agree. I do think, obviously, carrying on about Beth, I think we've seen her coming off the bench, Laura, as well. Like some of the game, I think, like the Everton game, I thought she changed the game. So she's still got a lot to prove, hasn't she, and a lot to offer. But I don't know if you agree. Do you think people are still really comparing her performances to expecting week in, week out how it was in the Euros?
I think that generally people are quicker to point out when something doesn't really work out. And if that happens over and over again, they're quick to say she's not good, which I don't agree. I think she's class. I think she's a really good player. She's always been a really good player. She had some setbacks. Obviously, she had her ACL, but I wouldn't think... I can't really compare her play style to a lot of other wingers. So wherever she will go or stay, I think they're better off with her than without her. So
yeah, no, I agree. I just think, obviously, Ringo, I'll go to you. Weird. I might change your name to Ringo in my phone.
Yeah.
Don't start paying me your parking fees, because that'll get you into that won't work. I'll take the money, but
like what we were just saying about Beth as well. but surely we're wanting to win the WSL, Champions League, FA Cup, all these. So you need to have a squad. Like, I just think if I'm not saying I think we need to. I think we know we need to bring in other attack-minded players like wingers, but surely Beth Mead is going to offer that strength and depth.
100%. I'm going to just quote Darren Wells here because
Don't do that. That's dangerous.
he's actually talking sense, George. Let him have his moment.
You know what? You know why he's talking sense, because he ain't mentioned the S word.
No, he hasn't. No, but he just says, he says, it's about. He talks about having it's a small club mentality. If we don't, we need a strong starting 11 and an amazingly strong bench if we want to compete with Chelsea. And I think he's 100% right. We've just we've come up short at time and time again. And the amount of times we've seen their bench compared to ours. I mean, that's always an interesting kind of thought experiment I run in my kind of mind, is when it's not the starting 11s, because often we match up. I think we match up with most teams. We definitely match up in the UK. But if you had a 7-a-side game between the kind of the benches, I often think, well, Chelsea would just be would hammer us, and we absolutely. I think Darren's sorry. Darren is right. Let's mark it. It's 31st of March, 2005. Darren Wells was right, we've got to build up. And I think not only that, I think we're going to bring in another winger. I mean, good point about Viv. It'd be interesting to see what I think. Olivia Smith is possible one. I know Cloudy wants that Colombian from that team that we beat the other week, Real Madrid. So, I think we need another winger as well. I think with the way we play our wingers, they work hard. They work hard. They, not just bombing up and down the wing, but in the press as well. So if you've got 4 wingers, they're all going to get big amount of game time. So we need to keep. That's the thing. We need to keep keep all our good players, and they'll get game time. And I think, as Darren says, we've got to kind of look at Chelsea's squad and match them, and match them off the bench as much as the starting 11s. Yeah.
Sorry, I was just catching up with the chat. No, I agree. I think there's been some good messages in the chat as well. And Mark, cheers for watching again as well. Coming a regular, I might have to get you on one time, see how we can make the times work and stuff. I know Australia's a complete different time zone. So,
oh wow,
we'll let Ringo do that one. Carrying on with the game. Obviously, I'm gonna come to you, Laura, just to make sure I've got this right, because was it Beth Mead's 50th Arsenal WSL goal?
It was her 50th and 51st.
Yeah,
I think she scored twice. So WSL, and then overall there's way more. I was so confused because people were talking about her 50th Arsenal goal, and I was like, that cannot be correct. In no way can that be correct. And then I checked, and then it was like, that should have been her. So it was her 50th WSL goal.
Yeah, so like a lot of respect to her, and I think that has been said before. Obviously, yesterday was Mother's Day, so that would have been probably a very difficult day for her. Obviously, I know it was for myself. So only being in that situation, I just think she deserves a lot more plaudits than she gets. I do think you're right, Laura, actually, when saying that she does, if she does something really bad, like she's the worst player in the world. But when she does do something they don't jump to the thing to say, oh, hold on a minute, that was quality, sort of thing.
I think that goes for pretty much there's some exceptions where I feel like that doesn't happen as often, but there are a lot of players, and most of the players get I don't know, they get so much hate for really nothing, and it'd be like people who are quick to judge by one game. They don't really understand the game. So Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not only her; it's just pretty much everyone.
Yeah.
100%.
Just want to welcome back Darren. You said Stina is a good option when she's on the bench. Yeah, when she don't come on, mate. When she don't come on, she's brilliant. We need a conductor for the atmosphere. Stina, crack on, go on. You'd probably do that offside and all. But
Ow.
The offside trophy this year.
Paul, we'll move on from Beth. I want to talk about Vicky Pilova. So obviously it was really, really good to see her getting some more decent minutes. I don't know if you guys remember, but a certain someone earlier in the season said I would have Vicky Pilova as a number 10. I don't know who that was. I'm not being smug or nothing. But I think we saw glimpses of that yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah, she came on like she was ready to play 90 minutes. Okay, we know she wasn't going to do that, but yeah, she just came on, took it in her stride, and yeah, she seemed to be in that almost like a roaming number 10. So she was in the 10, but she was drifting here and there, and even getting up ahead of Russo as well in the number 9 position a few times, and Russo dropped back. So yeah, she was causing them all sorts of problems. I don't really think Crystal Palace knew where she was going to play. I think the only place she didn't play was in goal, and she could probably the touches that Daphne did get during the game. Vicky could have probably played the full 90 minutes in goal. But yeah, whether that's something they're working on in training is for her to sort of take on more of that number 10 role, but not stick to it, but drift here and there and swap with Russo and do things. It could be something they've been working on, and it's let's just test it against Palace because we were already 3-0 up when she came on. So yeah, that's the time that you can afford to take a few chances and try out new things because they can work perfectly well on the training ground, but until you're actually in a competitive match, you're not going to know 100% if they're going to work or not.
Yeah. Someone has just said that Herty, Amanda, and Rosa's time's up. Was that Darren, Andrew?
Probably. Yeah.
Just saying, Darren, don't go on a holiday to Sweden because you basically just tour out the whole of Sweden for the
Was it Darren though? I don't know.
No, the thing is, it's quite chatty over there, and I'm struggling to keep up myself.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm enjoying the chat. Carry it on. Andrew will catch up maybe next week.
Yeah.
He's on an international break now, guys. Come on, we've got to work a bit slower. Laura, I'm going to come to you obviously about Pilova. Like what's been said, there was quite a lot of attention seeing her playing that number 10 role. Do you think that is something that could be a serious consideration for Renee and the club going forward? Do you think that might be what their plans are?
I don't know. I don't know if that's what their plans are, but I can see that happening. It's a bit tricky with her. I don't really see her as a classic number 10, obviously, but it could happen. She's obviously still very young. I think for yesterday's match, I've written down her position as more right wing, center midfield, and defensive midfield because she was basically everywhere. So I don't know. I think they're with Renee, they're probably gonna try out a bunch of positions in midfield for her. So I wouldn't really set it in stone that she's gonna be the new number 10, but I could see that happening. Just as long as she stops playing Russo at the 10, I'm really happy. I'm gonna be really happy about this.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just reading. I think the chat kicking out half of the squad just after we beat. So, time and a place. But yeah, Andrew. Obviously with Vicky, it's just I think just generally we can have like dreams about her playing that number 10 role. I think we know how talented she is, but ultimately, more importantly, she's getting minutes on that pitch, isn't she? So I think that's what we've been wanting to see for a very, very long time.
Yeah, I think it's kind of unfair to expect anything from her, but to get her fitness back. I mean, she might have some moments, I think, but you know, you don't want to be relying on her to be able to change a game. You know, so it's nice that she's been able to come in, and you know, the games she has come in on, they've been kind of dead rubbers at that point, and so she's. You know, she'll be able to just find her fitness. And yeah, I think, you know, as Laura says, you know, her excitement probably got to her and she's chasing the ball. Like she's, you can only imagine what it's like being 15, you know, 15 again, and she's just charging around, just chasing the ball and kind of loving life after being sort of having that incredibly lonely experience. But yeah, I think it's just about her getting her fitness back. And like I say, she might have a few moments in these last few games of the season, you know, and you know, maybe she's that late substitute in the Champions League final just to kind of eat up some minutes so that she can, so we can when we beat Barcelona, it'd be about 5-0 by then, wouldn't it? At that point, so she can come on and have a bit of a run around. So yeah, next season. But yeah, interesting kind of thing about, you know, where she. You know, where she goes in the midfield, because yeah, it's I'd almost forgotten how incredibly talented that player is. She's fantastic.
Yeah, you're going down a different road than me with the Champions League, mate. Not gonna lie.
Oh, you think Chelsea are going to get there?
Yeah, I've got us beating Chelsea, mate. all the way. I can't wait to be there and watch old Basil's tears, mate. I'm right up for it.
Fair enough.
What is a better feeling than beating Chelsea in the Champions League final, where all their hearts will be broken and they'll need therapy? Like, not that I'm sadistic or anything like that. But what would be worse? I know Arsenal fans will be like, "Oh no, I can't deal with this." Like the whole LA side will be up for it'll be risky. God. It'll be risky, but no, I reckon we can. Well, we'll see. Let's beat Leeds first.
Oh yeah.
So, Paul, I'm gonna before we move on to the next bit. Obviously, Russo scored again. LA. She, for me, I don't know if you agree. I saw someone on Twitter say that there's not 4 better number 9s across the world at the minute. Do you agree with that? Do you think the form that she's in? Is she in that conversation yet? I know people compare her to Bunny Shaw, but do you think she's at that level yet?
If she's not, she's very close. She's knocking on the door of being there. I think, yeah, we got a few more games this season, and I think next season will be the one that will really make her, Golden Boot winner for us next season. Obviously, we got the Euros coming up as well. If she can take the form that she's in now into the Euros, keep it going for England, and then come back to us still in great form, then she could be knocking them in all over the place next season. So yeah, I think she's definitely right up there.
She's only one off this year's Golden Boot, isn't she?
Yeah, I was going to say, you're sure next season Golden Boot?
I think this year, Paul, this year.
This year, because Bunny Shaw's still injured,
Yeah.
It's
definitely up for grabs. Like, obviously, with Shaw.
It happened.
But yeah, if I don't know if Shaw, I don't know how, if there's any chance of her coming back like this season or anything. But yeah, I think Russo. But what I mean, Laura, as well with Russo, like we saw obviously in the Champions League game against Real Madrid, she's scoring those big goals now as well. Do you think that kind of puts her on the map with people from Europe as well, or do you think she's already there, obviously because of the Lionesses?
I've always rated Russo really highly. I've known her for a while. To be fair, I've known her since college days, and even then, I was like, class player. Can't believe what she's gonna be in 5 years' time. Look where she is now. So I think the last Euros really gave her a spotlight, because she did score some amazing goals, especially also in the World Cup. But I think the Euros really helped her. And then her move to Arsenal, I think that was a really good decision career-wise. So whatever happens from now on, it can only get better. Nothing can really stop her now. So yeah, with a sorted out midfield that plays really good passes to her, I think that can she needs players to assist her the way she needs to. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of times, you play the ball to her, but she gets spotted out by the defenders. Like they do not let her out of sight. So you need to be smart about how you want to involve her in play. And once you do that, she's lethal. Like, and it doesn't matter if it's against Real Madrid, Crystal Palace, Barcelona, whoever, but she will just score them goals.
Yeah. No, I have said on the show previously that I think when we say that we've got world-class players at the club, I think we have 4, but Russo for me is one of them.
That's a tough take. 4. What do you mean 4?
Who's the other 3? Who's the other 3, George? Come on. Stina. Manu,
yeah.
No, hold on. What's the time check?
Oh, shit.
1949.
Right. After all that time, the first F-bomb's coming to Andrew. I am not fucking saying Stina. or Manu. So I don't know if 4 might be being optimistic now.
No.
So I was going to say Emily Fox.
Yeah.
Caldente.
Yeah.
Russo.
Yeah.
I'm stuck. Kim Little. Kimmy Esther.
You might want to take that. You might want to think about this one more time. I don't know. There's quite a few more, no? I would think there's.
I don't know.
Chloe Kelly on current form. I mean,
yes.
I want to say current form. It's only because Man City kind of benched her. That she's come back, and she's got a point to prove, and I think she's just terrific.
I kind of feel offended that you didn't say Daphne van Domsela. I'm sorry, but I think she's really good. Like I think she's also still very young, no? Like how old is she? 20, 25?
I mean, for a keeper, that is super young. Really.
That's super young. Like imagine her in like 2 years.
I do think she's really, really good. Like, and I think there's absolute levels apart from Manu. And that's not just because I'm calling Manu out. I do think Daphne's probably one of the best goalkeepers in the WSL.
Yeah.
I'm just more for me. What I meant world class is like we've seen how like when we were absolutely awful, like Emily Fox was still good.
Yeah.
So I think we have this. I think we have the spine now, like with Daphne Fox, Palova if she gets back to. I think Palova could be world class, but it's hard to say now because obviously with the injuries.
Yeah.
But give her time, I think she can. And then Russo, I think we have some very, very good players. I'm waiting for someone to drop the L word because I'm trying to steer away from that about our England captain. So, I
don't feel safe saying that word out now. Not now. But do you know what? That's a fair point. Yeah, who's better than Daphne?
I mean, Tyler's Joyce. I think she's doing really well.
Who's that? Sorry. No, genuinely.
Fallon Tyler's Joyce. Manchester United.
There's a team called Man United, Andrew.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
I think she's good. But I think that might only be because there was this thing where she was compared to Marios a lot. And she didn't get a lot of playing time when Marios was there. So there was a lot of pressure on her. And now, like, she's proved herself to be really good. I don't know. I've not checked the statistics.
Honest question. I don't like any player that plays for Chelsea, even like if they play for the under fives. Like, do you think Daphne's better than Hannah Hampton?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm not even saying Hannah Hampton's bad, but I think with her, if she has a bad day, she has a bad day. But Daphne, I've not really seen her having a bad. Like, I think the goalkeeper that relies on good days the most is Chiara Keating.
Oh gosh, yes.
But
She's brilliant or god awful.
she can be brilliant, but she can also be not brilliant. And I think it's not the same with Hannah Hampton, but it's kind of the same in it. A little bit, like not to the extent of Chiara Keating, but I've not seen, anyways. What I was trying to say is I've not seen Daphne like this, and that's good.
Yeah.
Yesterday was a bad day for her. I agree somewhat. I agree. Yesterday was a bad day for Chelsea. But
I thought it was brilliant.
I thought it was a great day.
Yeah, it was a great day, bad day for Chelsea, but it just shows that Hampton is not. It's not like she doesn't have any bad days, you know.
No, it's a fair point, actually. Fair point. Right, we'll finish that segment there because the only problem I do have is Renee. Right, we know you watched the show, Renee. So when I predict a 4-0 and Jenna to score the first goal, do it because I've not got one this season. So yeah, it's quite funny, Laura. So there's been a couple of times, it's really, really coincidental that we've said something and then it's happened. So like I said after the Chelsea game that I was like, after watching that rubbish, I was not going back until Jonas went. and then by the time we'd done the next show, Jonas had walked. And then we said something else. I would play whoever, and then that happened. So it's very, very coincidental, but we're dying on that sword.
Okay. Do you want to do a quick prediction before the semi-finals even kick off, just so I have some peace of mind on what's going to happen?
9-0. No, I'm joking. I don't. It's really hard for me because I don't watch as much of the European football as I'd like to. So I know Lyon are a really, really great side, but I don't know, are they as strong as they was? I don't know.
Yeah, unfortunately they are.
Oh, right. Thanks for the positivity.
Remember last time we played them?
Wasn't it 5-1 or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was
no,
then,
no, don't say it. Don't use facts.
Can I not be realistic on here? Okay.
No.
Yeah, we're gonna it's gonna be 6-0 this time, guys. Don't worry about it.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're disappointed about letting that goal in.
Right, so what we're going to do, we're going to do something different now. Actually, I'm going to hand over to Ringo Starr for each segment for the show. So, floor's yours, Ringo.
Well, my question. Let's go. My first question to George. Of course. I just kind of look and reviewing this kind of this block of games. So, which do you think was our best game? And just to remind you, the block started. It was their 4-3 against West Ham. What was our best game and our worst game? And I'll let you kind of pick your criteria during that block because we did seem to have the best of times and the worst of times. What was our best and worst game?
Best for me, I've got to go for Madrid, haven't I? Like, I can't be the one who got absolutely smashed at the Emirates, took off his Russo top when it was the third disallowed goal, and then put his top on back to front because he couldn't see what way it was. I can't. Yeah. I think performance-wise, I would probably say I'd go for the Real Madrid second half. I don't think we was as great in the first half, but in the second half, I thought we played really well and the football that we like to see. I think what people need to remember is against West Ham, we only played for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Because, apart from that, we was absolutely atrocious. And if it weren't for Beth Mead, doing that stop right at the end, we would have got a draw. So, our worst game, I'm trying to remember who was in the block. It was West Ham.
We've got Liverpool. We've got,
right, yeah,
and Real Madrid away.
You've just poked the dragon. Liverpool FA Cup. That was I think that was the game I was fuming at. I was so angry. I was like, I don't know. It just didn't seem to be playing how we do and how we did regularly under Rene. Now I've calmed down quite a bit after a few weeks. Maybe it was one eye on the Champions League, maybe, but yeah, that's just me. I don't know, but next season I want us to be taking the FA Cup a bit more serious.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, fair play. I'm going to go to Paul now, our lead singer.
Katrina Medical don't play for us anymore, so what are you going to
ask? Paul, best player, worst player. That's a terrible one.
Oh my god.
Oh dear.
Sorry, man.
This is so really going to split.
Actually, she did have a good 90 minutes at the weekend for Roma, so yeah, she played quite well. Best player and worst player
for this block. Remember, so starting with the West Ham game, just to.
Oh, that's easy.
I think they've all played well in games, and they've all played really badly in games. It's. I think when you look at the West Ham game and the Liverpool Cup game, both of them being at Meadow Park, and we performed pretty badly at both of them.
Yeah,
it sort of reiterates something I was saying a few weeks ago about the psychological side of the game, and do we not step up for the games at Meadow Park anymore? Whereas, under the lights at the Emirates for that second leg against Madrid, the Liverpool in the league, we got a great result there. They just seemed a completely different team, and I think they all played pretty well in both those games. But in the West Ham and the other Liverpool game at Meadow Park, they pretty much all played, other than probably Chloe Kelly, who's been pretty consistent throughout.
That's the difference.
They were like a different team.
Yeah.
So I think probably the best player across the whole block would be Chloe Kelly, because she's just been consistently good in all the games. But the worst player.
Sorry.
That's so easy.
That's
so easy.
Where do we start?
Where do we start? Did you just say where do we start?
Go on then, Laura. Go on. Just give him a hand.
No, it was his question. It was his question. Okay,
well, your question next.
Worst player.
Well, I say Laura Patterson's come with the worst player, if you want to say. She's the kit, the kit yesterday. The kit.
Well, yeah. Whoever decided that kit was sensible to wear yesterday.
Yeah.
That was madness.
That was probably the most clash of any of our kits. We probably could all have worn the goalkeeper shirt and been less of a clash.
Anyway, stop procrastinating, Paul.
Yeah.
Sorry, I haven't got George's tenacity here. I've got to be more ruthless in this moment. Go on, Paul.
I want to know who it is.
I really don't. I really couldn't pick one for the worst player.
You're going to agree with Laura then?
Boring.
Laura.
Is that many?
Come on, Laura. Yeah. Help him out.
You really want me? I'm gonna get so much hate for that.
It won't be enough said.
Taking away the minutes that have been played, just purely based on when players have played, it's split between Rosa and Stina.
Yes.
I'm sorry to break people's hearts, but you can't be a number 9 for Arsenal and be offside like 90% of the time and then expect people to not say anything about it. And then Rosa, I know she's really, really young and I think she needs to cool down a bit. Honest, Darren, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But I think Rosa's expecting so much. And then she is offering so little, like not even in a bad way, but she's not really fit into the team as of now. So I have to see more of her.
Fair play.
That's
fair
not
play.
who I thought you was going to go for.
No, do you know what?
Take her, George. Oh, gosh, I'm getting sacked on my debut.
I think you just got promoted. To be fair,
Yeah.
I think if you can,
Got ahead of Jack now. Honestly, that's not. Best and worst player. That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Who you got, George?
Worst player. Oh, I would have had this person, but she's had two or three good games, so I can't really pick her now. But worst player. And that's actually a hard one because there's a couple. Best player's got to be Katie Reid, surely. She ain't done nothing wrong.
She hasn't done anything wrong, to be fair. Yeah.
No, but best player I'm going for in this block. I'm going for Kim Little.
Did he just say Kim Little?
Yeah.
Oh, that's controversial, isn't it?
Yeah, I think she's pretty had a good few games.
No Scottish representatives on the panel tonight, so George is.
Worst player. Just for the spoiled bratness, I'm going for Rosa.
Yeah.
And let me defend myself before I get cancelled on that. Is what my issue with Rosa Kafaji is that fine, you're frustrated that you're not getting game time. I get that. But you go out and put your yawning emoji on Instagram just as Arsenal have lost an away game. Like, I just think it just reminds me of a little bit of sort of like what Gio done. Reminds me a bit of like throwing your toys out the pram. And when she has played, I don't think she's been as special as everyone thinks. Like yesterday, I don't know what she done. Like, everyone calls Frida out for saying not playing well or anything like that, but fine, she didn't do nothing. But I don't think Rosa did either. And fine, Rosa's young, I get that, but hopefully people like Leah Williams and Kim Little, like Beth Mead, those experienced, Leah Volty, those experienced heads would be like, Rosa, sort yourself out, mate. Like, you can't be doing that. Like, especially not on Instagram as well. Like, if you're going to do it on other stuff, but not Instagram.
You do
best
wonder,
player
don't you?
one. I think we've had quite a good few players that have put some really good performances in. Like, before this block, I would have said Kyra, but she ain't played. So,
Kyra, such an underrated player.
Yeah.
Next question, Chris Talent.
Well, I was gonna say it's. I think Frida's had a lot of votes, and I was thinking she's been really quiet. But is it just that she's, I think statistically she looks okay. It's not super productive. I had lots of hit the woodwork and had lots of, had some good shots and had some good moments. But is it, I don't know whether it's just the way we've set up, but I wouldn't say she's played badly. But I just want to know what you guys think. Paul, has Frida played badly, or has it just been a quiet spell and that everybody else around her has kind of just had some kind of really stellar moments? What's your thoughts, Paul?
Yeah, I mean, you've got the likes of Mariona and Chloe Kelly that have sort of stepped up and they're doing things, and I just think it's putting Frida in the shadows a little bit. She's still there, she's still in that role, she's getting the job done and she's getting some shots in from outside the box, but I don't think she's making the moves quite as spectacular as like showcase as some of the other players. So I think she sort of goes a little bit unnoticed sometimes.
Yeah. I was going to say that was my thoughts. It was just like when we were thinking about that question. It's like, well, what has Frida done? And yeah, you're right. I wonder if it's just, maybe she's just been a bit of an engine room. I don't know. And I suppose it's, I mean, like she could have had a couple against. Was it Liverpool where she hit the post twice?
The league, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. It's. I can't think of a bad moment where she's missed a sitter or kind of had a string of bad passes or she's working hard in the press for sure. But Yeah. Laura,
Mhm.
which manager do you dislike the most, Joe Montemurro or Jonas Eidevall?
Jonas Eidevall.
That's such an easy question.
Jonas Eidevall.
Because
The
Because
Swedish fraud.
Does it need an explanation? Then?
yeah, that's what it's all
The
about.
Swedish fraud, mate. I told you this.
Because oh gosh, where do I even start, mate?
I like Laura even more and more. I tell you, it's brilliant.
I don't even think it comes down to that one thing. Oh gosh, I don't even know. Like, I can't even tell you one thing. Like,
Well-
the main thing, it was just so many different little things that accumulated to this one big issue that was just him.
Answer me this then: why was Jonas able to win the bigger games when Joe really wasn't?
Look,
Maybe I'm just playing devil's advocate here, just to say.
maybe it's just luck, mate. I don't know. So,
How many times is lucky?
no. The thing is, I think you can't forget the squad that Arsenal has. Is like, it's not only the manager. Like, obviously, if the manager is doing bad things, then if he, oh, I can't, can I drop F-bombs on here? I don't know.
Yes,
But
yes. George is already.
If he messes up the lineup, obviously there's only so much a squad can do. But I think, especially in the big games, you could feel that they kind of came together and really, really tried in spite of him. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But I don't think he's to be awarded with the wins that he's gotten when he was an Arsenal manager. I think it was more a team effort than despite him rather than working with him.
The Swedish fraud.
Interesting. Yeah, but I think it's just interesting, I suppose, because the reason that kind of Joe was given the old tin tack in the end was his lack of winning big games. Obviously, as Laura says, he did get as a league title when you don't get much bigger than that. But I think routinely he was, certainly towards the end of his era, he was not winning those big games. He would go and win those 6-0s and 4-0s against kind of the minnows. But no, I just thought it would be interesting to kind of close on that question.
I'm happy I got an easy question.
Well, you kind of jumped in on all the difficult ones anyway, so fair play to you. Look at that. She just wants to be on the ball, boss. She just wants to be on the ball. She's got like Vicky Palova.
Promoted already, mate.
Yeah, and I suppose, I genuinely don't watch any of the international matches unless they're on, and I've got nothing else to do. But what's everyone's travel plans? I think where's the Americans and the Australians going? That's kind of that's always my worry. And are they going to be back in time and not tired?
America have got 2 games against Brazil, I believe.
In Brazil?
I'm not sure.
Well, no, it's not going to be in Birmingham, is it, mate?
Yeah.
Well, Brazil used to play at Arsenal, didn't they?
That's because we
Brazil
were
men's
the
team.
same thing, isn't it? We had Gilberto Silva, mate. We might as well.
I think the Australians have games in Australia, don't they?
God damn it! Why though?
Against South Korea, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh my God! It doesn't matter if it's home or away, then, does it?
I'm not 100% sure, but
we are not. Potentially, we're not playing until like the 15th of April. So
we got the I mean, that was a shrewd move by the players actually to buy that kind of that extra weekend break. I thought that was quite smart to kind of.
The only thing that's annoying is that this Leicester game. I don't know why they couldn't play it that weekend. But
oh yeah, I saw that pop up on my feed, and it's like, I'd forgotten about that one. Where they're going to.
It looks like they're going to probably put it a few days before the first Lyon game, which is stupid.
Oh, brilliant!
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's home, isn't it? Is it Meadow Park or?
Yeah, Meadow Park.
God damn it! Paul's just crying. That oh God, what could possibly go wrong?
Yeah.
A tiny team. Sorry, Leicester. Sorry, Leicester. A tiny team on a bumpy pitch. It'll be fine. Maybe it'll rain.
I don't think we're that tiny, mate.
They had a great pitch next door to Sutton yesterday, just out on the wreck there. They've been put Meadow Park to shame.
Well, to be fair, the field I've got across the road from me is put Meadow Park to shame, and they've just ploughed it, and it still looks better than Meadow Park and Real Madrid's cabbage patch or whatever it was there. Oh no, that was more of a rice paddy, wasn't it? In Real Madrid. There you go. That's the second half wrapped up.
Yeah, cool. We'll wrap it up there. I just want to say thank you to everyone. Thank you to my guests. Paul, thank you as always, mate.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll see you. Leon, are you Leon or are you not Leon?
Unfortunately not. No, I've got to work. It's the Saturday game. If it had been the Sunday, I'd have been there. But
it's all right, mate. Just we've got Lisbon, so that's fine.
Yeah, that's it.
Laura, thank you for coming on. You've been brilliant.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for promoting me
On
my debut.
Do you just quickly want to say like what stuff you do?
What stuff I do? I do everything. No, what stuff I do? Yeah. I work for Soccer Donna, which is basically Soccer Donna is women's football, and I do data maintenance, and I'm responsible for England women's national team, women's Super League, and women's championship. Occasionally, Ireland national team, but only if I have to. And then I do so. It's a lot of work. That's all. I'm not against Ireland. It's just a lot of work.
Katie's listening. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I know. Katie and I are mates. Katie and I.
That's okay. Mates.
And I do social media as well, and I have the UK account as well as the official account mainly.
Cool. So yeah,
Laura's often breaking. So you're the one that breaks all the transfer signings, Laura.
That's me. Yeah, that's why I was not going to say anything about Beth Mead.
There you go.
I think she just did.
I think I did not. I think I did not say anything.
I think you just did.
Make of it what you will.
In the words of a man that I think a lot of by the name of Mikel Arteta, if I speak, I'll be suspended.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to lose my job, mate.
Yeah. So, yeah, thank you for coming on. And, yeah, you've forgot to add, you've been promoted to, like, probably head scout and head person on the podcast now. Anyone who says those views, if I say those views, I get loads of abuse. So it's fine. I can share it with you now. It's fine.
Nice. I'm going to add that to my tally.
Yeah. Ringo, thank you as always.
I was going to do a Liverpool accent, but that would be probably quite offensive. So I won't. I'll say, my pleasure. And do you know what, Laura? Because you get promoted, that means someone gets demoted.
Oh no!
So thanks.
I'm so sorry.
You look sorry. Is that your sorry face?
Yeah. Yep.
No, you're not getting demoted.
That's all
right. There's room for everyone here.
Why do you think Jack's not on? We love you, really, Jack.
Amazing.
So yeah, we will be back. When we'll be back, I'm not 100% sure, but we will be back. Please continue to support the channel. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you to all the people chatting in the chat. I'm not going through you all because, one, I'm registered blind and I can't be bothered to remember every one of you. So I'm playing that disability card. So on that note, good night. Thank you all. Have a lovely week.
Bye.
Press that button and